What up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. So there's been a clip floating around, at least around the DF area. So I'm based out of the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and there's been a clip floating around of a singles event where pretty much the same story you always hear, where there's a bunch of women and like no dudes. And a lot of people have been speculating as far as why it happened, why this keeps happening. I have some different opinions from what I've been hearing online, and I think there's a lot more to the story. So let me show y'all the clip so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so as you can see, they're at a bar, lounge area in the Dallas Fort Worth area, and she pans around the room, and the very few people that are there are pretty much only women. Now, I saw this clip recently, and this reminded me of the even more viral moment of probably a couple years ago, where it was a very similar story. Let me go ahead and play that for y'all.
Went to a singles mixer, and only women showed up.
Okay, now who remembers that? That was a really popular clip that went viral probably about 2 to 3 years ago in the Dallas Fort Worth area. The thing is she's only given one small part of the story. I think it's a combination of things. One, I think for a lot of people online, the fact that only women show up to these things and there's absolutely no men, that is a much more fun narrative to go with. Also, I think that maybe she just got there a little too early, pulled out her phone, started recording, and that was it. And didn't record the rest of the actual event, the actual evening from that same night. Because what I'm about to show you is what happened the rest of the night. So let's check that out.
How my singles mixer went down in Dallas.
I bought for 16 passenger. This a G5. No, this not a Challenger. Big one. I keep some members with me in the fridge. The coat seats. They some
Oh, look, ninjas, men. Okay,
cannibals.
one,
They like to get
other guy.
drink a whole bottle. Wake up.
There's plenty of men there. They just take a narrative and they start running with it.
And repeat. She took a look, mixed it with the chill out.
Is that the same girl? Wait, what? Hold on a second. That the same girl?
Now she said.
We turned up.
I'll believe in that. Man. I'm not sure what happened to the music, but okay. Now, as you can clearly see, there were a lot of men there. Now, I will admit there was a lot more women than men, but the whole narrative of like no men come to these things, I just don't think is accurate. I just don't think it's true. And it sounds like a more fun narrative to run with online versus the fact, hey, a lot of men do show up, just not as many. And so a lot of men and women online say, hey, men don't go to these events because they're just sick of dating, they're sick of women, yada, yada, yada. Though, yes, there may be some truth to that. I don't really think that's really where a lot of this is coming from. What I think is that, okay, like I said, we're in the Dallas Fort Worth area. The event, not the one I just showed, but what I opened with, the opening clip, that was at like a restaurant, lounge, bar area. And this happened on a Wednesday. So, one, I think we have to start with the marketing. I'm in the Dallas Fort Worth area. I'm on Instagram and Facebook and everywhere, YouTube. I never heard of anything. I never heard of this, so maybe it's worth taking an extra 200-300 bucks and using that for Facebook ads, marketing, or whatever the case, because I never even heard of it. So if I never heard of it, Who else in the city did not hear of it? Also, the fact that it was on a Wednesday, I also do think that that plays into why a lot of people did not go. For example, think about it. I'm in my later 30s, and think about how y'all feel about this, right? Say you're in your early 30s, mid 30s, later 30s, whatever the case. When do most people like to go out? It's usually the weekend. The weekend is a weekend, it's a thing for a reason because that's when everybody usually wants to go out. When you're in your later 30s, mid 30s, or whatever the case, and you go out during the week, think about how hard it is the next day to recover and function at work. That's why most people don't go out during the week because the weekends is just more convenient. We have more time to recover, we have more time. So I don't think it was marketed very well because I don't think a lot of people even just flat out knew about it. And then also during the week, it's usually a lot harder for professionals to go. I know, don't get me wrong, there are a lot of young professionals that do go out during the week. There are a lot. There are a lot. But the overwhelming majority don't go out during the week. We wait until the weekend. That's why you will see all these different bars and restaurants and lounges throw all these specials out you during the week because they don't have as much occupancy during the week. And so they're trying to incentivize you to come in and buy some food, get some drinks, whatever, because they don't have as much traffic during the week because everyone waits during the weekend to go out. I think that the fact that it was on a Wednesday probably was just inconvenient for a lot of people that did know about it, and they just decided, you know what, maybe we're gonna sit this one out. Maybe we're gonna sit this one out. Now it seemed like it would be a pretty dope event, but just don't think a lot of people even heard about it in the first place. Yes, could it be because men are just tired of dating and tired of modern women and all this stuff? Yeah, that could be the case, but I don't think it's really all that deep. I just think that that is a fun narrative that people just say online, and it's just a factor that plays into just things as far as that simple as, hey, didn't know about it. Hey, yeah, I see that it's on a Wednesday, but I got to be up at 7 a.m. fully prepared for a meeting, you know, and I got to drive to work, got to drive to the office, whatever the case on, on Thursday. So going out on a Wednesday makes things kind of hard, especially if it's not like, happy hour where I can, meet up right after work, happy hour, grab a drink, whatever, then have enough time to go home and prep for the next day. I think that sometimes, those things are not as convenient as the weekend. That's all. So those are my thoughts on this. But how do y'all feel about this? Do you feel that men just know about these events and just flat out just decide not to go because of the dating culture nowadays? Or do you feel like maybe it's a mixture of unawareness, lack of availability, the dating culture, and a lot of things? What do y'all think about this? Drop a like and a comment below and let's have a conversation. I'm open to being wrong. Like I said, those are my views, but how do y'all feel about this? Also, hit the bell and turn on notifications and subscribe to the channel. And I will see y'all in the next video. Peace.